All right, good afternoon, everyone. How are we feeling today? Hopefully we can take that mezzo forte kind of vibe of how we're feeling in this afternoon with an amazing amount of music, get that crescendoing up even a little bit louder. I'm Garrett Mendez, the Director of Performing Arts here at King School. I'm also the co-founder and artistic director of Project Music, and I'm so excited for our 10th annual El Sistema event. Over the last 2 days, it's not even quite 2 days yet, we have had over 200 musicians on campus here in this building, somehow on this stage, learning some amazing music, and I'm going to talk to you more about that. And I think you're going to be blown away by what you see today. What we always like to do is to kind of kick off this concert is to show off our two special guest hosts, our Project Music partner and King School are going to kind of kick off the concert, and then we're going to get into the joy of everybody playing together too, all from all these places. So I'm going to hand this over to Kwan and our Amadeus string group from Project Music. All right, our next group this is our concert band that's coming up from Project Music. And I just want to make a note of the great job that Kwan is doing with our string program and Gunnar. I think this is our 3.5 years of having a string program. Project Music started with as a wind and band program, and we've just started strings, and so we're really excited for us to start to grow the string program. So from this point on, actually, in the whole musical process, everything you're basically going to see now is about student creation and arrangements and involvement in voice. Even if you look at your program, if you have a program and you said, this is called March Militaire by Schubert, and you're like, you might think to yourself, how is this going to be anything to do about student voice and arranging and composing? Is one of the ways we start with teaching composition skills is taking simple lines out of their method books and band arrangements, and instead of just giving them a specific part and just say play it, we deconstruct the music for them and they learn all the different components, and then the students actually make this arrangement. So Joe, one of our band directors with me, my partner in crime, we gave this to them, and then they've got this complex map. They go through it out, and then we reprint it after they've finished all their ideas. We put it back into the computer and give them the parts, so this becomes their actual version. So, and it starts to prep them for the stuff that you're going to see later. This is our simple process of how we teach basic composition arranging techniques. Is from the get-go, we have to ask the students' voice and an opinion, and so they actually, it's not anybody's, it is the actual concert band's arrangement of this song. So I'll give them a couple more seconds to just set up. We actually did the same project with this piece. We did this with the teachers from some of the visiting programs on Sunday, and I heard they came up with a really cool piece. We kind of ran out of time and forgot to add them to play it, but that's one of the things we do too during this weekend is we give a little demo to some of our visiting programs of some of the stuff we do so they can take this process back to their programs. We good? All right, this is March Militaire arranged by the Project Music Concert Band. Slide them back that way, or try to wedge your way through the ink. Hey boys, is this your debut at King? Yeah? Nice. All right. So, I'm super excited for this next group to come up and play for you. There are some of my students that have formed their own rock band called the Vitas. And one of the reasons I wanted to give them this outlet is the whole point of everything we're trying to teach our students is that they don't need me, they don't need all these other adults to continue this process. And in fact, at some point, if they're going to keep making music through their life, which is the really goal of our program, is to give them the skills and feel empowered to create their music. And so these guys putting their band is a special treat. And well, I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about him throughout the night until he gets tired of me talking about him. Our special guest artist is sitting in with him, Pete Francis. So this is Pete Francis sitting in with the Vitas.
Hello, we're the Vitas. This is my friend Mike. We got Pete Francis and Matt, our drummer. We want to say thank you very much, Mr. Mendez, for letting us play, and we're just going to spice it up for you guys a little bit.
I paved the way on my own. No, I wanna stay on my own. No, I'll make mistakes, I'll take a break on my own. No, how can I save my way out of this hole? Oh. Now I can see what I can be on my own. No, now I can speak without the need to impress anyone. Moving on. Moving along, you know that I didn't want that. Moving along. I
Thank you, guys.
Nice job, Vitas. You guys sound great. Woo! Little known fact, Tristan and Michael both played tuba with me in beginning band, and Matt played bassoon. And then that wasn't their gig, so, you never know, like you never stopped letting students explore and give them the options to keep playing music in different ways, and there were great proofs. Mr. Ben, Colin Ben, our wonderful strings teacher who teaches viola and stuff, also teaches our guitar and has worked with those students, so I think one of them, besides their hard dedication practice, some of the work that Mr. Ben has contributed to them plays a huge factor. So, and he's standing right there, and he doesn't like this. All right, so let me talk to you a little bit about this man setting up, and as we think, King Band, you guys should be coming on stage, that'd be great. And we're gonna get to play a few of his songs with us. I was lucky enough to meet Pete because our daughters are in the same grade, and they were in the same class. When did Calliope come to school? Like third grade, second grade? Third grade. She came in, and then they became really good friends. And so, sitting over some birthday parties and stuff, and getting to know. At first, I didn't really know. Like, I'd heard some things that he the band, and I started checking out his band, and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, they were a really big band, and I really started getting into all their music and was super excited to have them. For those who do not know much about Dispatch, they are a great indie rock band. They have, huge round. At least 3 sold-out nights at MSG, TD Bank, and then if you go on YouTube and see their final concert breakup, 100,000 people plus in Boston watching the concert. So. And then there's a really good YouTube video of Pete coming down a zip line at the Red Bull Arena as the whole band came in. So we were trying to figure out if we could do that in here, but I didn't give Jamie enough time to work out those logistics. I was like, he would do it if we could figure this out. Jamie, who's our wonderful sound man back there, if you give him an idea, he'll try to make it happen. So we were lucky in the sense that we were able then, since Pete's local, we could bring him in, and he's got to work with our King Band. We played a couple of his songs. I'm standing. We can't sit for these type of tunes. Yeah. So we'll play these things, and basically he gave us the recordings, gave us the chords. We had to figure out what we're doing. So we had to figure out our home background pads. He came in and worked with us. So these are all our band's arrangements backing up the wonderful Pete Francis on this first tune, Sun Fuzz, and the next one will be Untold.
Hello. I just want to thank Garrett so much and the King School and being part of Sistema. It's a really amazing experience for me to have some, my songs, and then to have this orchestra and these very talented horn players. And essentially, that's to me what music is about, is this togetherness and working through these songs together.
Down, fresh sound, I'm taking, I'm making, I'm breaking new ground. It's been fun, day one, now you keep on going, baby, till you touch the sun. Tell me what you wanna hear, I got your back, baby, I got your back. Fog is gone, your eyes are clear, fat back, baby, fat back. Come on, baby, keep on shaking. 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 All the lives that you're living, all the love that you're giving, all the lives that you're living, all the love that you're giving. Let's play it. Yeah. How about these amazing musicians, right? All right, this is a song called Untold. This is a song I wrote called Untold. Don't go with your dreams untold. Don't leave me on that old black road. Don't go with your dreams untold. Don't leave me on that old black road. July thunder, something's undercover, something lost and something ain't right. Well, you slide by me in the cool air of night. Yes, I drive by in my car for you. Look me in the eye, that's what I can believe. Don't go with your dreams untold. Don't leave me on that old black road. Don't go with your dreams untold. Don't leave me on that old black road. Let's play it. Tommy Weeks.
Now, if you feel like you need to stretch out, stand up, go ahead, because it's probably going to take us just a few minutes to get this massive amount of students on stage for the rest of the set. So at this point, we're going to start working our way on stage for Creative Juice, Vitas, and belonging to the band. So come on out. We're going to carefully figure this whole situation out. And as I do that, I'm actually going to come down to the step ladder a little bit, have a little conversation with you as they want, so there's no room for me to stand on the stage as we're doing this. So, I think the max that we ever put on stage is about 140. Today I've lost track. I stopped counting at 175, so it is a massive, massive group. So, what you're going to see over the next few pieces, at least in my belief, and why we do this, is to connect together and make music. You know, currently a lot of us are, right now in our climate, and we're talking about how we shouldn't be coming together and valuing each other's diversities. And this whole program is actually kind of contrary of that. We're super valuing the fact that we have students coming from Boston all the way down to Florida at our program this year, from very different backgrounds and all different types of things. And we learned about each other, making music, connecting, and that's what it's really all about, is that when we, and I'll talk more about this when we get to collective composition, when we value each other's ideas and opinions and learn how to work together, we can do some amazing things. So over the past couple days, we started at 9:30 a.m. Yesterday morning. We spent a couple hours rehearsing the three pieces you're going to hear there, and then we spent the rest of yesterday doing a collective composition piece that's been never created before. It hadn't started until afternoon of yesterday at about 12:30 or 1 p.m. Came back this morning at 10 a.m., hit it more of the collective composition, took a lunch break, ran these pieces again, and did some more collective composition. So these students have been going non-stop for the last 2 days, so you're going to hear the result. And when I first started this program 10 years ago, for this to happen, we started it with 8 students from Baltimore, and I think at that time the one middle school band that I had involved, I might have had 12, 16 students from my King. And so we've grown it this year to just over 200 total students. When we can, I think the number was 220 when we added in King students, Project Music students, and all the visiting programs. So one of the things I always say is start something, work on it, and it can build if you've got the right idea and you've got the right passion for it. So we don't always have to have a perfect plan, we just have to have the idea to get it going. They're getting close. That's actually moving quicker than I thought it would. What else can I say about this? While I'm doing this, because I got some time and things, I want to acknowledge some of the work that's been going on through the day, because usually at the end of the concert I always forget about it, so I might as well do it while my brain's fresh and I'm ad-libbing a little bit. Over this course of this weekend, we've had an amazing team putting this together. First kind of things I want to thank is all the teaching staff from all the programs. They've been absolutely amazing helping with this. They've flown, they've driven with their students, and made all those logistics happen. So if we can give a little round of applause to all the teachers and traveling adults, chaperones, to get their students to come up here. I also want to make a huge thank you to King School. They support me in this belief. They help make this program happen, and without that wouldn't happen. So King School is especially awesome. I want to thank the Parents Association too from King, who helped us, and they gave us that wonderful dinner last night. And they've made a lot of things over these years helping the program. So thank you to the King Performing Arts Parents Association. And then I want to thank my man Pedro over here for being my wingman here, helping me with all logistics. Pedro's our program director of Project Music. And the real stars, and I'll make sure I'm going to announce it again because there's a few of them right here, and I think all the students, I know they're kind of distracted getting set up, is our Project Music parents who've been like helping feeding us, getting us all the things. Without them, this whole weekend wouldn't happen. So I want a huge thank you to our Project Music parents. So, last thing, and then I think we'll be ready, is, like I said, everything from this point's been about student voice, composers, new music, and these pieces that you're going to play reflect that, because I want the students, if we're trying to create our own voice, one of the things we do is we should connect with living artists that are making music so we understand. So both of the compositions that you're about to hear are from living composers that exist today and living. Because like for us to like have an understanding of how they see music, see the life that they're experiencing in their culture, is that, and then that helps inspire students because they can see that there's other people making classical music and orchestral music. It's not just us playing Beethoven, Mozart. Not that those aren't great, but we, music and art or food are all a reflection of culture. So and that needs to stay living. So we want to play living music. So the first composer you're going to hear is called Creative from Creative Juice is the title of the song. Her name is Maria A. Douglas, a great composer out of Atlanta. And then the second composer is Soon Hee Newbold, based out of LA at this point. She's kind of in the film industry, her music, and she's done some Disney things. So we've given a really great reflection, and I think it was also important for me when we were selecting the music to feature women composers because they've been truly not recognized for some of the most amazing work that they've had. So I wanted to make sure we were shouting out and showing off these amazing compositions from women composers. We good? Close? All right. I got to get my stand up there now, and I'm going to conduct these pieces. Sweet. Gravitas, gravitas, gravitas. All right, now we welcome back to the stage Pete Francis. And we're going to do one of his pieces, and I just want to say a couple things about this piece. First, I love the video of it because it's New Orleans, and New Orleans is my absolute favorite place in the world, so that caught me right off the gut. But it's called Belong to the Band, and it really spoke true to me about what we're trying to accomplish. And so this is actually what, maybe I'll talk a little more later about it, but is what we kind of used as a theme and an idea for our collective composition. What's it mean to belong to something, and what is our purpose in that? What's our role in that, in our collective composition? So it felt great that we should play this piece that would lead into the collective composition. So I'm going to stop talking and let's do it.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, I belong to the band, hallelujah, I belong to the band, hallelujah. So confused, feeling used, only song I singing be the blues. Running up to you every night, same old words, got the same old fight. Could I get to you maybe, just to cut the fast way out? Shadows and bones, wanna be at home, I wanna belong. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, I belong to the band, hallelujah, I belong to the band, hallelujah. I thought I could make it out, but the world's a shadow, won't break my fall. Can I take my faith in you? I think I've tried it all. There must be something left to do. Climbing the band, understand we're a team in a dream. Used to go about when we were younger. We had that hunger, and the day was a real day. It wasn't crushed up and cut like today, but I'm looking for you. Yeah, I'm looking for you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, I belong to the band, hallelujah, I belong to the band, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I belong to the band, 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 hallelujah. I belong to the band. I belong to the bank. Hallelujah. I belong to the bank. Hallelujah.
Get out of here before I get run over. Yeah, I don't know, they're coming. All right. That was a wonderful time for me. I really enjoyed getting to make music with that big of an orchestra. I've never done that in my life, so that was a complete honor to work with such wonderful young musicians. Up next is this collective composition. And so I'm going to hand it over to the students to talk a little bit about it. All I really just want to say is that this is a beautiful thing of coming together and making a lot of and respecting everybody's ideas and values. And no matter how old you are, this isn't a multi-generational orchestra in a sense. I know we're talking just youth, but we have students as young as I think we have a fourth grader in the group, up to having our adults participated in it. And the one thing I'll say is, we flip, in a way, we're flipping the classroom kind of concept, is where often the teachers always say, listen to me, I know what I'm doing, I'm giving you information to help you and follow. This is kind of the opposite. We've already given a lot of skills, and our job is to hand it to them as ideas and be just collaborators in the room. We are not the instructors, so we're just helping out. Our hardest part is that they're so good, and it's so much fun to work with musicians. These musicians, we just see them as musicians, and we want to jam with them. So we actually want to get in there and play with them because it's so much fun. So I'm going to hand it to these young gentlemen, and they're going to tell you about the collective composition. And yeah, here we go.
Hi, my name is Gray, and our band is called EV, and our song is called Emotional Vacations.
Hello, everyone. My name is Baden. The reason why our song is called Emotional Vacations is because as we are playing it, you can hear every emotion or, the emotion that you feel. For an example, at the end, you'll feel an emotion, sadness. In the beginning, happiness. So on.
Hi, my name is Javin. I'm coming from Baltimore, Maryland with Peabody Preparatory. Our composition was about, it was a story, it is a story, and it's about the life of a musician. So we kind of just go through the life of a musician, but just with our instruments, and we're expressing it through music.
Hi, my name is CJ Baker. Our composition is about dreams and mostly about dreams. And once you hear the N, it's gonna make once you hear our song, you're gonna go on a little an adventure.
My name's Ian. I'm from here in Connecticut. And my group, our song is really just about belongingness and embracing and just being together as a community and group, whether that's in a school, family, neighborhood community, you name it. And I hope you like the show. shine. Together we love. Together we belong. Together we strong. Together we shine. Together we love. Together we belong. Together we are strong. And shine together. We uplift the light and
How's everyone doing today? So we've been talking about belonging to the band. And as we talked about belonging to the band, we talked about all those things that happen when we don't feel like we belong. When we're lonely, when we feel left out. And that's what this song is all about. Join us now. I'm going through the struggle and I feel left out. Sing along now. I'm going through the struggle and I feel left out. I can't hear you. I'm going through the struggle and I feel left out. Sing along. I'm going through the struggle and I feel left out. Let me hear you, audience. Let's go. Left out. Can I hear you now louder? I'm going through the struggle and I'm going through the struggle and I feel left out. Come on, orchestra, sing along. I'm going through.
right, now we have some other words. Here we go. Here we go. Follow along here. I'm going through the struggle and I feel left out. Next word. I'm going through the struggle and I have some doubts. I'm going through the struggle, but I have you. I'm going through the struggle. We'll see this. You all are awesome. Thank you so much. Give it up for this great band here. And this amazing orchestra, Garrett, an amazing team, Project Music. Thank you all.
All right, give it up again. It's amazing students and teachers and everything that happened for this weekend. This was absolutely awesome. Awesome. So thank you for coming out tonight. Our students get to play this 2 more times. So tomorrow they will be playing this concert for the lower school and middle school assembly at 9 a.m. And then they're also going to be playing it for the entire upper school. So the whole King community gets to experience this to enjoy. So we've got 2 more times to bring even more energy. Thank you so much for coming out today. And we'll keep this thing going. Thank you all.